like a joke, got us falling out our chairs. Tammy keeps it real with that no-nonsense stare. Justin got the whiskey, he's pouring it strong. Chef K got a pot, smell it all day long. That's real Shaw, we share, that's the way we roll. Laughing and sipping and stirring that soul. From a splash of whiskey to a pot of stew. That's real Shaw, we're cooking for you. Jokes can't keep a straight face. Tammy keep us honest, bringing all that grace. Justin holding whiskey like it's made of gold. Chef K in the kitchen got the gumbo soul. That's real Shaw, we share, that's the way we roll. Laughing and sipping and stirring that soul. From a splash of whiskey to a pot of stew. That's real Shaw, we're cooking for you.
Not even true. Oh. Hey.
I think that's a lot of true.
They picking on me. Anyway.
Help her, Lord.
Welcome to That's Real Shy.
Yep.
So, who remembers the first time you made your own money? Anybody? Somebody? Yeah.
I know about making a couple of dollars.
I'm not talking about the money from your mama.
Oh, damn.
Or the money from a job, one that you got to clock in and clock out. Yeah.
Is stripping a real job?
That's a hustle.
That's a hustle.
That's a hustle.
All right. I was hustling back then.
But from the little hustle you cooked up on your own, somebody might have drug you in and said to strip on that pole, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it was cutting grass in the Louisiana heat for $20 a yard. That's selling contraband candy at recess. I want to know who did that.
Selling candy?
Yes, at recess. What the heck, man? Or running crawfish traps on the weekends. Yet no.
Maybe that too.
Whatever it was, that was hustling, Shy. Today we're talking about the first time we chased that paper. The early jobs, the bold sign gigs, the risk we took, and how the grind shaped the way we see work today. Yeah. From the first paycheck to learning when to finally let go and just breathe. I don't think I've gotten there yet.
No.
I can't just breathe yet. I got like 3 more years to pay this damn jury off. And then maybe I can breathe. Anyway. And as usual, I'm not burning this pot of water alone. We got our Couyons with us in the house today. We got the biggest Couyons of all, Mr. Jamie Ami.
I thought she was going to say you.
No, it's you.
She did. Yeah. She does that on the often, though. If you ever notice, she does it.
That's not true. And then we have the other almost just as big Couyons, Mr.
She
Justin.
shaming you now.
And then we have Miss Chef K over here as well. Miss Chef K cooked us something tonight. Smelling good, girl.
Great. I'm hungry. Help me.
So whether you're still in a hustle or finally hanging it up, I'm looking forward to those days. This episode's for you. Let's jump in the kitchen and see what Chef K is cooking up. I think it's spaghetti.
It's spaghetti.
Yum, yum.
I'm down.
Yep.
Okay. So what was your first real hustle?
Ooh. I could talk about that.
Probably babysitting.
Mine was babysitting all these bad cousins.
Yeah.
I did everything.
I think selling my lunch at school.
I've done everything.
Did.
Like there's not much I haven't done at this point.
I mean, either you get beat up for it or you got to sell your lunch. One or the other.
This is true. And it was Acadia Parish school lunch, so it wasn't that great. So it was almost worth selling.
Yeah. True.
Did you ever cut grass in this heat?
Yes, amen.
Yep.
I didn't get paid for it though.
Oh, we did watermelon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did cut grass.
Okay, did you sell candy or Coke cups out of your mama's freezer? I used to sell Coke cups in Mermentau.
I used to go with my grandpa and sell fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, sure did.
I just remember selling one lunch.
I sold all kind of stuff in high school.
Yeah.
I was trying to hustle back then.
Maybe you were bugging groceries at the Pig or at Winn-Dixie.
Walmart.
Walmart. A cart pushed at Walmart in Jenny.
Adrian's.
I was a door greeter at Walmart.
Yeah, she was.
I worked in a bakery and the produce department.
Yep.
Did you ever flip burgers at any of the fast food joints?
Amen.
No,
Amen.
No.
I did not.
I
probably ate it.
did.
It'd have probably been like
I
Popeye.
lasted 2 weeks at Burger King. They wanted me to cook, and I was like, "This is not what I want to do."
Tammy would have made a good car hop. I'll tell you that.
But I
She worked
did.
at Dairy Queen
I worked at Dairy Queen for like 2-3 years.
until she dropped all that ice cream.
Yeah, I had to.
There's been
I
plenty
didn't
of
cook.
accidents.
I took care of the the counter and ice cream.
Mhm.
It was good.
Did you ever babysit anybody's wild little children's?
Yes, Tammy's.
I didn't babysit them, but I had to deal with them.
Yeah, because I was babysitting them.
I can see that.
Did you ever work on the rice farms or the crawfish fields?
Amen to that.
No.
Worked in the fertilizer.
Never
plant as
did
well.
that.
Ugh. Tammy's made some fertilizer.
Did you make your poop today?
Did you make your poop today? Did you go fertilize the septic tank?
Can we move forward,
Yeah.
please?
Okay.
Yeah. Did you ever
Uh-huh.
have any side hustles in school, like selling candy bars or the soda when they were banned?
Again.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to fix computers for food stamps.
What? That's a hustle.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, if you didn't have cash to pay me to fix your laptop, I'll take a couple of cases of Dr. Pepper and some Doritos, bro. It was back in high school. There's things I would do. Gummy bears? Yeah. Yeah. And then I could get two for one if I went with the food stamps.
Yeah.
So if I charge 20 or 30 bucks, I can get double that.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying.
How about walking your neighbor's dogs? I don't walk my
Been
dog
there,
more than
done
anybody
that.
else's dog.
Never.
I've
done
taken care of some neighbors' dogs while they were on vacation.
it. Well, I took care of some dogs. Never.
Mhm. Not quite
Not
walking,
really,
but
literally walking. I'll
Right.
go outside and potty.
yeah,
I'll feed them and
right.
leave them on their own.
Yeah.
Or making beats in your bedroom while your mama was out working.
No comments.
What the hell was you doing, Justin?
That wasn't me.
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
He wrote it. I mean, I'm just saying.
I did not read that. No.
Is it for show? Were you doing it just for the money? Or was it for pride or to show your spirit?
A little bit of all of it for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Hey, I had some pride in my work.
I like babysitting most of them kids.
Yeah.
Tammy,
Oh,
did you like it or was it just for the money?
She don't even know what you're talking about.
She does.
She's lost.
She's in her second pour, y'all.
She's gone.
Y'all thought I was
Puberty
tore
is
up last
Go.
no.
She's just.
No,
Look, she's
trying
just
to
blank.
think.
You're just
No,
blank
I was
faced
trying
over
to
there. I
think
wish we could get you on the camera right now.
Technically,
Yeah.
whenever we did the watermelon thing, I didn't get paid for that. That was
Yeah.
that was for somebody else to get
Yeah.
paid. What else did I helped with the vegetables, so I didn't technically get paid for that either.
But you hustled at it.
I mean, yeah, you damn straight I hustled at it. I was throwing them watermelons up into the truck for them to catch, or I was up there catching them and
Where
loading
you
them
think
up.
she got the strength to throw me into the ceiling fan? She was throwing them watermelons. She just bragged about it.
Oh, yeah.
That is the closest thing we got to an
Yeah.
admission
It's an
of
admission.
guilt.
What
So
was it?
that's hustling, and hustling is on the menu for tonight.
Ain't that
Yeah.
the truth?
Woo-wee.
If Tammy was talking about throwing watermelons, I just had a thought.
You
Well-
calling me a watermelon?
No,
You did. You called my little fat
I
watermelon.
would never fat shame you, Tammy. But I was sitting there thinking about when I was in high school, me and my brother Tommy.
Boom.
I say brother. He's like my brother from another mother.
Yep.
But me and him used to throw bales of hay,
Okay.
and that's a workout and a hustle.
Absolutely.
And you get 25 cents a bale.
That sucks. That sucks. Be like, and then you gotta count them all and be like,
Yeah.
bro, I got $2 and 14
Correct.
cents. How you got 14 cents? Because one broke.
we end up with $10 at the end of the day. But
Man,
we hustled for it, you know.
I hear you. I hear you.
Proud of it.
Yeah.
I used
So-
to.
What does hustle mean to you back then, and what does it mean now?
Oh, I mean, from a child, from a teenager's point of view, hustling was whatever it takes to get what you need or want.
Yeah, and see how far you could take it.
Oh, absolutely. Because I mean,
Huh.
in high school, I fixed computers. Yeah, I fixed
Well,
computers.
so mama would give you money to do the dishes or something like that.
Who?
Okay, my mama gave me 25 cents to do the dishes one time.
Did you actually clean them to where she was happy enough to give you the
Well,
quarter?
I better.
Or she gave you the quarter to leave them alone and don't touch them again?
I better clean them correctly, or she get that spanking spoon out.
Well, I know about
It
that
came out of her
spanking
boob.
Yeah.
It came out of her purse. Well, it might have come out of her boob too. You never know.
I was really saying, like, I was like, oh my goodness.
Mama reached down in there.
She just popped that spoon out and just started whooping.
It come out in the middle of nowhere, dude.
It was magic.
Nice.
Abracadabra. She was like Harry Potter.
Oh.
Don't sue us.
I mean, look, you get paid for something when you're a child.
Yeah,
You would do it
I
again
agree.
just to get paid for it.
I agree. I'm not going to argue that.
You know?
We didn't get paid, but we got candy.
Yeah, I mean, I
Well,
really didn't get paid, but I would get different things.
That's from the white band, though.
You did your chores. You got to eat your own bag of candy at the beginning of the month.
Yeah,
And then you better hide it or your brothers are going to steal all your damn candy.
I'm surprised your mom and daddy didn't eat it.
They did
I'm
do
just
that
saying, y'all know my viewpoints on south of Highway 90.
Mm.
So I'm just going to leave that alone.
Well, Kashika was raised south of.
That's my point.
Okay, all right.
You're talking about the van. She didn't do it. She found
Yeah.
you north of Highway 90.
But basically, when
Not
you-
far north, but
When you're a child, you knew you did something and you got something for it.
oh,
So
absolutely.
you didn't
Absolutely.
understand where it came from, why.
Right.
You
right.
just wanted that
yes.
food off.
Yes. With my grandpa, it was Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So if I did good in school or whatever, he would either bring me to go get like a slushie at the shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we end up at the Walmart, which back then Ninja Turtles was like $3.50 to $5 a figure.
Okay.
Have you seen the prices of that lately?
$15.
15 plus.
Yep.
Like this is insane.
Or
I'm not gonna lie.
Or if you go for the the classic
Yeah.
action figures,
Yeah.
they're 20 and plus.
Yeah.
Even $50.
Yes. That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go hustle just to get some of those. I'm not even gonna lie.
But I mean, as a kid, look, you didn't understand that. You didn't understand the value.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
It
You-
didn't matter.
You know what you wanted, and you were trying to get it, no matter
Absolutely.
what.
You know,
You didn't care how
No, it did
mom
not
and daddy
matter.
struggled.
you
or-
had a need and you did whatever it took
Yeah.
to provide that need or that
Well,
want.
You didn't understand.
You didn't understand.
No,
correct.
you did
That's
not
what
have
I'm
an
saying.
idea of bills or what things cost. Or,
You knew they worked
the
and you knew they had
value.
money coming in, but
Right.
that's all you knew.
Yeah, that's
Right.
all you knew.
And you didn't. I mean, I didn't understand none of that.
me either.
Till I was pretty much grown,
Yeah.
close enough to being grown.
Because I can remember one time my mom and daddy telling me, "Hey, you do this, that. This summer we'll buy you a swimming pool."
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I did this, and that, and I never got that swimming pool.
Never.
Never. Nope.
Not even a kiddie pool.
Nope. Never got that.
I
I
mean, but if you
no,
buy the
so-
kiddie pool, you could accidentally leave 2 of them in there because they were them slim little
Well-
plastic ones, and then you just put both of them in the back of the truck and go.
Well, I didn't understand they struggled that year.
Well, I know, I get
didn't
it.
understand it.
Right, and I
What
understand.
did I end up getting? Was a bisqueen and a water hose.
Oh, slip and slide.
Yeah,
I mean, that's fun.
Ooh, that's fun too.
but it wasn't.
It was not the swimming pool.
It was not.
I don't like
Wasn't a
slip and
swimming pool,
slides.
and it was not the real slip and slide. It was a
Hey, the big
Cajun-
ones
it
were
was a
better.
As long as you
It
had
was
a
a
water
Cajun-
hose,
It was a
some
Cajun
donuts,
version.
a biscuit,
with
You
some
probably was gonna
Dove,
hurt yourself the
some
most.
Dawn
and-
dishwater
Just orange
detergent.
soap,
Yep.
a roll of Bisqueen, and
Yup.
a water hose. That's
Yep.
what I got. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell
And
you.
hopefully you didn't break a bone.
And I'm gonna tell you.
That's
the
what I was
best time
afraid
my
of. The
life.
things I was afraid to break my arm.
Uh-huh. Oh, we used to do them though. We used to do
Skin
that
up
at,
your
at
knees.
church camp too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would roll
You
out
went to
those
church
I
camp?
wish.
a couple of times.
Okay.
I wish I could get up right now and show y'all an example of a time
No,
Chef K went on a slip and slide.
no,
It's all.
that's not. Oh, she ain't
I-
playing with you.
Look,
She
I
going
was.
straight hustle mode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They freak me out because I'm gonna afraid I'm gonna slip and I'm gonna break my arm.
Yeah.
And I chicken
Well-
out at the very end when you go, ah,
So you run all the way up and stop.
Stop.
Yes.
No, stop and went.
That's not funny.
I would have. Somebody would have just pushed her at that point, right before the stop. Just
Mandy would appreciate this right now.
Oh,
She's
probably
Gonna, she's
so.
gonna laugh her butt off.
man. But yes,
But so when you start getting older,
I think we should have an adult slip and slide one day.
look,
look, I heard.
there's a lot of
I heard.
websites.
I heard. I'm not even gonna play with y'all. You bet. I'll take a lazy river and just go float in that. You can
You
slip
ain't
and slide
kidding.
all you
You
want.
ain't kidding.
Look, if that's really what you want, at this point, I will go get the materials, but I get to film it for the show.
If I
I
was
get to film you going on that slip and slide for the show.
I'm scared about
That's
hurting
my
my back.
hustle.
back, that's it.
Yeah.
She already can't walk.
Jeez.
Anyway.
But so at what point did you really start appreciating the value of $1?
Late teenager for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so too.
because it was basically early 20s, like really early 20s,
Okay, early
when
30s.
my dad passed away.
Yeah.
And basically at that point I had bills.
Yeah,
So I kind of grew up really fast at that point.
yeah. You had to take up the hustle
Yeah.
stage.
And at that
Right.
point I was hustling anything and everything, legal, illegal, it didn't matter.
Yeah, I can kind of see the same thing. I was probably 15, maybe
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, somewhere
I
in that
kind of started
17,
understanding.
18, I started understanding money and what it
Yeah.
took. I really was working on computers back then, though. You have no clue.
Well, you had that government letter. It's supposed to be
Shh,
somewhere around.
don't. That's a cease and desist.
Yeah,
We do not communicate with cease and desist. That is
Yeah.
a completely different hustle. The things that people would do online and pay you
think
to
we
do
failed.
online.
I think
Oh
we
my,
failed.
this is not good. Tammy, stay in control.
Yeah, that's Tammy's over there drunk right now.
You see that, huh?
Or
She's like, I don't even see where the camera went.
Chef K
What
took
happened?
my drink away.
Whoa, y'all in
She's sipping 'em.
trouble. She said she ain't going at this alone.
No,
But no, I would say probably late teens,
Yeah.
17, 18-ish.
Yeah.
Started getting serious, starting understanding the value of $1 and what you have to do to
Where I
earn
could
it.
earn my money and buy the clothes I want it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dress like I want it.
So what age was that when you started?
Late teens.
Late teens. I think there's a lot of kids like that.
Yeah.
Tammy?
Don't think my peers appreciated
Well,
my style though.
Yeah.
I
Is she okay?
well,
Second
I
point.
mean,
I see that. She giggling like it's nothing.
no.
No.
I had a child to take care of.
Correct.
I was in high school my senior year. So after school, after I graduated, I had to go out and get a job. And that's when it was like, okay. Actually, I
that
left
time.
home at that point. So, and I was living with a friend
Yeah.
and she's helped me a lot, but I still had to figure out what the hell it was I was going to do for my next pack of diapers.
So
Because WIC don't give you diapers. They'll give you food, but they don't give you
Mhm.
diapers.
so when I was like working for Sonic and stuff,
Yeah.
as far as managing wise, kids in their 16 and 17 really absorb work ethics at that time. And I think it's really important for kids to get a
I can see
part-time-
that. Yeah.
getting a
I can see
part-time
that.
job.
Mm-hmm.
If
Well,
that's something they can manage at the time,
Right.
you know, because you can really absorb a good work ethic that way. I mean, with a hustle, managing money.
Right.
Mhm.
Because most of the ones were core hops,
Mhm.
so they had account change and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Simple little tasks.
Right.
Managing orders that are coming in.
Yeah.
What needs to go out first? You got a big order and you got a little order that came in later. Should you really manage that little order first to get that big order out later?
Gotta get that big order
Just-
rolling, and then fill in that little order
Order,
as you get
good.
time during that middle one.
Correct.
Mhm.
Things like that.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
I get it.
that really builds up your work ethic. Throughout the years.
I late teens, I was cutting grass across Crowley.
Yeah.
I mean, usually that would be 20, 30 bucks a yard. And before my dad could ask me to borrow some money, I would try to hurry up and go spend it.
Yeah. So
Get some movies. Oh, Movie World. I love some Movie World. I'm not,
movie world. Oh, dude.
And I do a 5 for $5 and then
Yeah.
add in a couple of others. And then at that point, I'd still have a few bucks left over. Go grab some pizza, some Doritos, and some Dr. Pepper and some gummy wares. And
So movie
doing pretty
world for
good.
you was like Blockbuster. For me.
Blockbuster.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was not much of a Blockbuster person. I was a Movie World person.
I like movie because they had
Was
video
Movie World
games.
the one that
Yeah.
used to have the big old watermelon Laffy Taffies with the little candy
Yes,
seeds
yes,
in
it
it?
did.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a good one.
That's where we used to go get our video games whenever we were married together.
Yeah.
We would
Yeah.
stop in
I-
Rain, and they had a movie world in Rain. We would stop there and get
Uh-huh.
video games and stuff and rent them out.
Blockbuster didn't have video games? Or they were-
Blockbuster at that time was all the way in Lafayette.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a bit.
So they had a movie world in Rain, Crowley, and
Yeah.
Jennings.
Yep.
And at the time where we lived was closer to Rain.
I got you.
But
Go ahead. Movie World. I remember Movie World. The 5 for $5 during the summer.
yeah,
Spend $5. You grab 5 of the like older movies. You could keep them for 5 days.
yep.
And then
That
you
was a
watch
good
them
value.
420 times.
And make sure you rewind that video.
You better rewind that video and you better return it in before you get a fee.
Yeah,
Because if you get a fee, you better pay that fee.
because back then it was what, $100.
Oh, it was stupid.
It was.
I don't know.
Stupid.
I don't know. I never got that deep into
Yeah,
it.
correct.
I mean, even back then, I mean, this is probably
And then you
past
were
the
charged
statute of limitations.
Every day you were charged another rental fee, and the full
Yes.
price rental fee, not
Yes.
the dollar fee.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that was like $3 a day or whatever for the actual movie.
Yeah.
Whew.
Would you ever turn around re-rent it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did that a lot of times. But some of those, especially when I was a late teenager, I would actually get the movies and then I would
But
the
you burn 'em?
VCRs.
You burn them?
Oh yeah.
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 That's before.
And then it got to the point where I was downloading movies
Yeah.
and dishing those out for a donation. Donations are legal.
Yes.
Selling is
It's
illegal.
Yeah.
So for a small donation, I would,
yeah.
offer a various selection of
Of
burned
services?
assortment of burned items
Or in
on-
service.
or something. We're walking a fine line right
Right,
here.
let's
you
move
guys.
on, guys.
We're just walking a fine line. But yes,
Yeah.
the things, yes, I would hustle. Like there's not much I didn't do.
Yeah.
Whether it be movies, games, VHS tapes, cleaning computers out, especially those. There was a lot of people get in trouble with their mama because they would look at stuff they shouldn't be looking at online. And so it was easy to send me $20 just to go swing in for 20 minutes, run some virus scans, clean up everything, and walk away. And sometimes that $20 ended up being $40 in food stamps. Thank you, Jesus. You have no clue. Hey, it was 2 for 1 back then. I was hustling. I was doing what I had
I
to do.
got a question though.
Oh,
How did the kids get their mama's food stamps?
don't worry about that.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. Well, sometimes that was grown people's food stamps.
Okay.
I was
So
fixing computers for everybody.
it was for the father, not the kids.
I'm not going to comment on that.
All right.
I will tell you that there was multiple computers across the city that I was able to get to on my bicycle and clean up fairly quick. And those that was further than that, they come pick me up.
All right. So
Okay.
going to adult's point of view on
Oh,
Hustling.
man. Hustling, I mean, that's survival mode for an adult.
it is
When you're, I mean, survival mode. There may be some strategy built into it. But for the most part, it's because you had a goal. Either you wasn't making your bills or you had something that you had to pay for that your normal job doesn't cover. So it's either a second job, third job, doing things on the side, fixing computers. You have no clue how far fixing computers has gotten me.
So
Even to Exco.
yeah, even
That was my first. That was my first
Yeah,
job
that
at Exco. Was IT. I
and then
never,
being
I
a
never
salesman
took a
after that.
class for that.
No,
But you know,
no.
I was
So-
hustling all the way up in the Exco, y'all.
So I have a theory. Well, I say a theory, but my daddy had a saying
Yeah.
that I always stuck to with the rest of my life.
Okay.
And it was, if you give a hard job and you give it to a lazy man, he'll make it easy.
Ain't that the truth?
You
Because
know,
he's gonna do it the easiest way that he can possibly do it and still get paid.
just to get paid, but do it right.
Correct,
Stuff
correct.
like that.
Correct.
I'm gonna be that person that's gonna outdo everyone that's on the floor,
Fair enough.
trying, to prove myself
Right.
and move on with the
Right.
company. Even at times where I didn't want to do that, and I end up doing it anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
there was well, even in the beginning, like whenever I worked at Walmart.
Yeah,
I would close most of the time because I was taking actual college classes at the same time.
Yeah.
So I was a full-time student, full-time worker, and basically closing down the departments at the time. So a lot of those times I would work out to where, someone would work with me till 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And then I would finish up the night and close out at 7 or 8 whenever we closed.
yeah.
So a lot of that was just straight hustle mode because I was basically, juggling life, school, work, trying to better myself.
The best example, I usually when I have interviews at work,
Yeah.
best example I always tell the guys that I'm interviewing is me and Couyons. We're the only two people in that panel shop.
Yep.
And it wasn't a very big panel shop at the
Yep.
time. And we did $5 million in a year.
Yep.
Just me and him hustling it out. And look at us now. It's something we didn't want to be. We didn't want to be managers. We didn't want to be.
I've done those years as the only salesperson and the only purchaser.
Yeah.
Where that's all you do. I mean, you show up at 8, 8:15, 8:20, and you went home when you were done, which I mean, back then for me, I was working till 6, 7, 8 o'clock every night.
Yeah.
That was, 5 days out the week. So I feel like I'm just now getting out of survival mode, and it's
correct.
It's
Same
lost.
thing for me because
Right.
I don't know what to do with myself most of the day
Right.
because I hired guys that could
Correct,
do what I was
correct.
doing, and I'm sitting there some
Like
days
waiting for something to
to
take
do.
care of. Yeah. No, I get it.
which is a good thing and a bad thing for me. 'Cause
Right.
it's a good thing because it frees up my time to do other things and help other people.
Right.
I help Trinity all the time with
Yep.
with issues and stuff because he's a young manager. He doesn't know how to do certain things.
Right.
So I help him.
He
Assist
just
him with
doesn't
it.
have the experience.
He doesn't have the experience. And
Right.
And look, and he's very good, very level-headed person that
Right.
will accept someone's point of view and stuff.
Right.
And
I agree with that.
and accept it and try to use it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really good about utilizing the information that's brought to him.
Yeah, correct.
You know, he's not one of those young guys that know it all and I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it this way and that's the only way of doing it. There's learning curves,
Yeah.
but
And he has some of those.
well,
he's
that's
getting there.
everybody though. I mean, we went through learning curves. It's just that whenever we were going through learning curves, we didn't have another option. It was either it get done or you got it done.
You got it done.
One way or another. You got it done. So I don't know. From an adult point of view, a lot of times hustling, unless you are that entrepreneur mindset, it's to get yourself out of a bind or to push your family through into a better position.
That's a scary part.
It is.
That's a scary. To be honest, I could probably do that.
Oh,
I could definitely do that. Would Chef K let me?
that's a different story.
That's a different story.
Well, the problem is when you do that, You got to be very careful, or you will end up burnt out quick.
Burnt out or broke,
Both,
or both.
or both, or both. I mean, I've had to find several ways of dealing with burnout, just from being the only person in sales.
Yeah.
Where, okay, I don't feel good today, but I gotta go to work because there's no one else to answer that phone.
Yeah.
There's no one else to work on these quotes. Or even whenever I couldn't talk, I would have like Summer or somebody else take the message and I would work on it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have a voice to actually speak. Yeah. Be
Correct.
like, look, just email it to him. He's too sick to talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I get it.
get
It's hustlin's second nature on this side.
Well, I've kind of done that at Sonic. I hustled my butt off, and I couldn't call in sick because guess what?
You were the backup.
I was the backup.
And then somebody else was
I remember
calling
those
in.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those sucked.
Yeah.
I know a different form of hustling that we've both done.
Okay.
Jamie, you and I. Team National.
Yeah, we sure did. We did Team National. That was a unique
Kind of like a
situation.
pyramid scheme thing.
Yeah, I mean, I never really made any money off of it. I met
No,
two
but
good people.
we've spent some money off of it.
We have spent some
They
money
wanted-
based upon
They
it.
wanted a Target gift card.
No, they
No?
wanted you to. The whole concept was selling these membership packages that would get you money savings in the long run. And some of it worked, some of it didn't.
Yeah.
Some of it could be utilized. Some of it was just a bad area to do.
So what's the purpose of pyramid scheme?
For everybody else to make you money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The person on that top
Yeah.
making all
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because like I said, I never made anything. I met some good people out of it.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we
not gonna
met
argue
several
that.
people.
And it actually helped me put into a different mindset because part of the whole Team National, there was, like coaching and looking
encouragement.
into like Dave Ramsey stuff
Yeah.
and dealing with mental fatigue and burnout and just changing your whole mind concept from going from
from a negative to a positive point of
putting
view.
yourself into a positive point of
Correct.
view and going from a normal worker to someone trying to build further.
So that helped kind of
Yeah,
take a negative
that
into a
part-
positive.
I mean, there was some good that came out of it. Was it money? It was not money,
No.
No,
unfortunately.
but you got a good work ethic out of
Correct. It added to the
Okay.
work ethic.
And that's whenever I got out of it, that's whenever I started going back to church.
it. Yeah.
This is true. Yes. Our group that we were part of was fairly big into going to church and praying and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it just got Tammy into that habit
Yeah.
because she started going with them.
So you're talking about burnout. I got a good example today.
Yeah.
Not really burnout, but I can see myself getting into a burnout situation.
Yeah.
We kind of been slow in the panel shop, not money wise, but job wise
Mhm.
Right. Or waiting on parts
Waiting
or
on
waiting
parts
on
and stuff like-
components.
and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And I interviewed this guy today, and I really don't know what to do. 30 years of experience. I don't know if I want to hire him on. I can't pass up 30 years of experience.
Right.
And willing to take the pay that we're offering.
Right.
Uh,
Which is unique.
very unique.
You know.
Elderly guy, a little bit older than me. Can't really pass up. So I kind of put myself. I've been listening to my employees. They've been kind of burnt out because they don't really have a lot of jobs going on. as well.
Right.
So I've been sitting there kind of thinking about today and like, what can I do? What can I do
To boost
br-
morale. and-
boost morale, but to get us out of a little rut
Mhm.
and prepare for a situation where we're going to be busy?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it won't be too much longer, I don't think. A lot of the tariff stuff is being
Correct.
crossed through and taken care of and actually
Well-
negotiated at this point.
People are scared of tariffs. Trust me, tariffs ain't nothing, guys.
No.
Tariffs are based on the base of the product of its
Of
manufacturing.
manufactured cost
Manufacturing cost, which
Right.
that is so low.
compared
Tariffs
to
are
what
gonna
people
be-
pay. Right.
Tariffs are going to be minute. But
Right.
anyway,
Well, I mean, but even at that point, we're not getting too much
Yeah.
into governmental.
yeah,
But what that forced was a sit down and have a real conversation about tariffs.
Yeah.
And I think that was the whole goal, and a lot of that's being taken care of now.
We pay more tariffs than we actually.
Well, we pay
require.
tariffs to everyone.
Yeah.
And that was the whole issue, and not a lot of people understand that.
Yeah, correct.
You know, this is just tit for tat.
Yeah.
This is basically asking for what we're already paying out.
Well, and then to keep jobs in America. Basically.
Right. And I
Yeah.
get that. I mean, our biggest issue in America is that people don't want to work.
But I was
But
trying.
that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole other story. But I was trying to think of a way, so if I want to hire this guy, I can utilize him
Yeah.
and maybe be prepared for a abundance of jobs coming
Right.
in.
Oh,
Because
that's
usually when
fine.
you get this slow,
Oh, it's gonna
hit you at once, and then you better prepare for it.
whenever the
You better
seal
prepare.
cracks, the
Yeah.
whole waterfall's
See, that's
coming.
gonna be all
and
that
it's gonna be
overtime
crazy.
that's coming with
Oh
this
yeah.
is going to pay
Oh,
for our
yeah.
trip in October. That's
Correct.
all
Oh
I'm
yes.
gonna be.
Where
Oh
you
yes.
going in October, girl?
Mandy's wedding.
Yeah,
Woo!
we're going to Alabama.
Ah, okay.
But yeah. But so I kind of thought, okay, so we got a good guy that's got a lot of experience. If I hire him on, give him a 90-day trial, if he works out, great. Works out, maybe I'll make him a QC guy.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make him a QC guy.
Quality.
And
we always need quality control.
correct, just for my panel shop,
Right.
and have tiers in my shop.
Well, then that's
So
also
I have-
another person that understand what's happening.
What's
They
going
can
on?
help out with some of the younger guys,
Correct.
who are, or some of the newer guys, not so
Yeah,
much younger,
'cause-
but newer. Right.
So I'll have me, which is shop manager, which
Yep.
is managing the jobs and stuff, making my waters for the guys in the shop,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have my shop manager, which is
Worm. Uh-huh.
and then I have two crew leaders, which is Hayes and Glenn.
Yeah.
And have them specific duties besides building, but
Right,
have them
right.
specific duties, and then my panel builders.
Yeah.
Just have a tier,
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a bad concept, and it works.
and it kind of motivated
Or it
me.
can work. Let's put it.
It
that way.
kind of
It can work.
motivated me today to get a little bit burnt out.
Fair enough.
Just to come up with something and to think differently than we usually have.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of a hustle, is to creatively figure out a way of getting something accomplished, regardless if that's making money or getting to a job or just getting something accomplished or done.
Yeah.
You know,
Just thinking outside the box. Because I tell you, you can think outside the box. You can be a lot different than anybody else.
that is true.
And
You
you
can get a
can-
lot more done outside the box as well.
What's next, Chef K?
Hustle versus ambition.
Ooh.
All right. Hustle as ambition. Or you could versus ambition.
Versus emission.
Yeah, it's basically a definition of hustle.
Yeah.
Out of what version of hustle? So basically, hustle as ambition. That would be like your rise and grind culture. Work harder than everyone else to get ahead.
Yeah.
A lot of your entrepreneurs, your big time lawyers, your money guys are very big into that world because it's drop money, drop money, drop money, drop money, earn.
Yep. Well, correct.
And that's exactly how they feel.
Our boss is like that. I mean,
Absolutely. And
the
he's
owner
he's brilliant in that mindset.
in that mindset. And let me tell you, you're thinking, what are you thinking?
Yeah,
What are you thinking? And then all of a sudden, boom.
it just blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
You know, he gets bored and starts looking at ways of selling more stuff.
And I guess he thinks outside the box.
Right.
you know?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's that ambition.
Yeah.
It's that just grow, just grow, just
Yeah.
grow. Because, I mean, at this point, he doesn't necessarily have to.
No.
But, I mean, that's just his,
because he can almost sit back and forget about
that's
it.
his satisfaction in working. You know,
Yeah.
that's his work day.
Because as much business as we do, he
Right.
can almost sit back and forget about it and let us
Right.
run it.
Absolutely.
But he
But
does. He does.
No. He's stuck in it.
Yeah, he's stuck in it.
He's
And
still
yeah,
in he's
and
still in
as
that
mu-
hustle mode. But
and
he
as
has
mu-
been taking more trips lately.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Yes, he has.
Yeah. And as much as you hate it, he's always up your.
Oh, I know.
Behind.
Oh, I know.
He
Or
has
looking
his
over
ways,
your shoulder. Let's put it nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he
yeah.
has his ways. And look, he turns $1.
I agree. I'm not arguing that. My check has never bounced.
It's never bounced.
So that's That's my
So-
that's me at the end of the day. My check's not bouncing. I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Correct.
I'll deal with
correct.
what I gotta deal with because I got bills to pay like everyone else.
Hustle as necessity.
Survival mode.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing right now.
It's not glamour. It's survival,
It's definitely not glamour
and it's doing whatever you gotta do to make
for the
ends
next
meet
3 years.
to
Yeah.
hustle it up.
So I said this before, that 20 to 30 year mark is a lot of people's survival mode.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it goes over that.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
that you never get out of that.
Sure. Correct.
Well, I mean, I was out of it. I just
you
put
put
I
yourself
put
back in.
myself back in
Yeah.
it.
And you
'Cause I
learn from
wanted-
it.
I yeah,
Yeah.
well, I don't want to say I've learned from it, but I went and I bought jewelry for myself.
Yeah.
And do I like my jewelry? I like my jewelry, I
Yeah.
got my necklace, my earrings, my ring, and my bracelet, and then I got other stuff. I got Jamie's necklace and just a few other little things. But yeah, I put myself in a hole and I am getting myself out of it. And I don't want to say I've learned from it, but I won't do it again.
Well,
Well, that means she learned from it.
Well, I'm not
She says she
calling it
won't.
as
She
a,
says she won't.
but I'm not saying it as a learning curve for myself. But I mean, it was something that I wanted for myself, and I did it.
yeah.
It might have been a little bit too much, but
Okay.
I did it.
Okay. So I'm trying to say, Dave Ramsey would say at that.
Dave
at the time,
Ramsey would have said no.
he would have said no.
He would have just said
Yes,
no.
he would. A
Unless
lot of
you
people
can
would have
afford it,
said no.
Unless you can afford
No,
'cause he had-
No.
I still can't
Yeah.
afford it.
No.
Yeah. Because
He'd have said no.
there's nothing wrong with saving money until
No.
you can buy something.
Correct. That's the best
And
way
I'm not
of doing it.
dogging you, too.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
I did the same thing.
I'm fine. I'm
We've
I
all
was-
okay.
been
I'll-
there.
I was young. Look,
Hmm.
But when
Oh.
you have no job and you got to pay for shit, you got to
Yeah,
put
you
stuff
do
on
what you
things.
gotta
well,
do, yeah.
Do you remember I had a job and oh yeah, Justin, get this credit card. Yeah, don't worry about the interest. You look how much you can get off this credit card. I was told this, and I listened to it. I was peer pressured into it.
By me.
Nope,
Oh.
my
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, credit cards are not good to be peer pressured into.
And I bought it. I got it. And
That's hard.
It took me
That's
years to
hard.
get out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it will.
Years.
It will.
And I
Well, we
hustled.
still paying for one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one we're having is for medical reasons, but that's a different story. It's a care credit.
Oh,
thing.
okay,
Yeah.
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 You pay really low interest. On
Right,
it.
See,
right.
that was
But I
the-
mean, even that is probably necessity.
It kind of
yeah,
was.
because it's
Yeah.
kind of when you
At
go
that
in and that's
time,
a $400 or $500
It was a
vet bill.
backup.
Right.
Right.
I didn't want to
Absolutely.
lose
No,
my
I
little
get you.
baby girl,
I understand.
my little lady Jane. I didn't want
Mhm.
to lose her, so
You did what you,
You
had
got
to
to
do.
do what you got to do.
You hit that hustle.
and I made a smart decision to make sure I had low credit.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
Yeah, I'm still paying on it a little bit, but hey,
Welcome to the club.
you know,
Welcome to the club.
and it's not a lot.
We all paying on everything. It don't even matter.
Electricity
Bills are bills,
Bills are
regardless
bills.
at the end of the day. And you still got to hustle to pay them, regardless if it's an
And-
electric bill, credit card bill, gas bill, or trying to eat some dinner.
because I would never put myself in that situation again because I got that credit card and then this and that, and
Hmm.
Now that I won't do.
I will never do that again. And it was
myself in
high
that
interest.
situation again.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that,
Yeah.
and it was high interest, and me and Chef K both had to work. She was big and pregnant, trying to pay this stuff off.
Hmm.
We had one vehicle, so sometimes she had to walk because she
Yeah.
can't drive.
Right.
So I had to make sure I had time to either try to pick her up or sometimes she just walked.
Yeah.
Lucky we lived in the area that she could
That's
do
your-
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's hard.
I'll never do that to her again.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I've been there. I mean, I've worked sales in the oil field and had years that drop.
Yeah.
You know, you take a $10,000, $20,000 cut on a couple of years, and if your lifestyle doesn't change, you end up in a bind. Ding ding.
So
Been there a few times, or when you're trying to take care of family members or whatever else. You know,
Yeah.
it will put you in a bind quick. So yeah, I accept that. I understand. Never again.
Where we at right now?
Hustle rebellion.
Rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
So hustle enough to make something your own.
Well, it's what they're going into, but yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. When the system says no, you hustle to make it make
your
it
own.
possible. You make it happen.
I wanted to do that when I was working for Sonic. I
mean,
wanted to do that. I wanted to buy into it.
that's yeah,
And I'm glad we
absolutely.
didn't.
I'm glad we didn't because it didn't work out.
Well,
But I wanted. That was my drive.
yeah.
I wanted it until I realized I was making less than what I should have been.
Right.
That kind
For the amount of hours you were working.
And I'm not dogging Sonic. I don't want to be like that.
No, it's just a job.
It's just a job, and
Right.
And it's when I realized I should be making the hustle to get that.
Yeah.
That's when I decided I didn't want to do that.
Right.
You know, because it wasn't good for my family.
Well, and
it wasn't good for my family.
you say, well, I could see that.
If you were young,
there was times I was working, 60+ hour weeks.
Yeah.
60, 70-hour weeks every week. I mean, it gets
tired.
And I didn't have a family, to go home to. So I get that.
Yeah.
Like, that's hard, especially when you're coming home and your kid's sleeping and your wife's going to bed and you grab something out of the microwave to eat, take a shower and go to bed and then do it all over again the next day.
And then you realize you miss about half of your little girl's life.
Yeah. Which no amount of money is probably worth that one.
No, nothing's worth that.
No. I see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so you got to be careful with your hustle.
Yeah. You can't let the hustle overtake the goal.
No.
You got to find that happy medium place to where you hustle enough to get through, but you're not killing yourself in the process or your relationships in the process.
Sometimes like, we tell you this, sometimes you just got to learn it yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything that we're talking to you about, we've either going through it or dealing with it or learning from it.
Yep.
So anything that we say on here, look, we're right there in the mix. We are not looking at this from over the pot. We are in the gumbo pot.
We're still stirring it.
Oh, we're cooking and stirring at the same time. That's our hustle.
Yeah. What's next, Chef K?
Hustle as creativity.
Ooh, we're doing that now.
Yeah, basically. Because, I mean, some of these nights, some of these days when we record 3 in a row and things are just not working out right, you have to hustle. You have to put some effort in because it's not easy. It's not easy to come online and record an hour worth of content and make sure that everything's working correctly. All the mics can be heard.
So this episode would be a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
Because Saturday we had to finish our recording because the first recording didn't happen.
The first recording, but there was an error. It did not work.
It didn't work, and it was not good enough to broadcast.
Right. It was.
I was able to save some of it.
Right. Clips and pieces, but not the whole the whole show.
So we had to redo it, and that didn't work. And we had to do a recording again, and it took a minute.
It took a minute, and it was several hours, and that's in the middle of graduation ceremonies. Graduation parties, along with normal work and everything else.
My normal hustle. Yeah. Because I still had some engraving stuff to do the next day.
Yes.
Plus edit and everything else for this show.
Yeah. And then come up with a new show. Yeah.
On Monday.
Right.
Hey, James, what are we going to talk about next?
Like,
I don't know.
I almost said, let's just swing it.
If
it were live,
it'd be a different story.
Right.
Yes. Because being live is different than just pre-recording. It's a different scene. It's a different concept. So I know you guys can't wait for us to go live, and we can't wait to go live as well. I find that lives are a little bit easier sometimes because you can feed off of the watchers.
Yeah,
lives are fun.
Yeah, we got 4 more episodes.
A few more. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about 60 days, and we're probably about halfway through that right now.
Yeah.
So about 4 more episodes.
We've done. This is the 5th week.
Yeah.
Well, this
one will be.
This one will be the 5th week.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. slowly but surely. We are crawling our way there.
I was
Stay
thinking the
with
same
us.
thing. We're crawling.
We're crawling. We're not
Yeah.
running. We're not
We're
walking,
crawling.
but we're crawling, but we're moving.
But-
And that's hustling.
That's how
We're getting there. We're doing what we got to do to get there. That way we can handle up.
Yeah, because we have, besides this, we have our own hustles.
Well, that's true. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's not even counting lives and jobs and trying to make money, pay bills, get stuff worked on, fix vehicles.
Because I had to work on Crystal's. She won a competition on my
Yeah.
Lifetime Memories,
Right.
so I had to start working on her design and stuff that she wanted.
That'll
And
quickly suck up some hours.
that's a lot of hours right there, drawing it up,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm still engraving it right now.
Uh-huh.
It's doing this cutout part, and
Then you're gonna still go what? You're gonna epoxy fill it?
and that one I know because she's wanting that magic card,
Oh, okay.
so it's a
Gonna
little
layer.
different.
I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah,
That's
it's gonna
gonna be
come out.
cool.
It's come out pretty cool.
Not too shabby.
All right, what's next?
Don't wait for the crawfish to jump in the pot. You gotta trap them. Get them suckers.
What was your first job, Justin?
Oh, my first job.
Yeah.
My first
Like first job.
First real job.
Yeah.
was at Walmart
Me
being a
too.
cart pusher.
Well, I was actually in the produce department, but they would pull you to go push carts too. And then
That was-
after produce, I went into the
We
bakery.
get paid $6.15 an hour.
It was not much. I don't remember. I think after my 3 or 4 years there, I think it was about 3. I was at like $8 an hour.
It lasted about 8 months over there.
I lasted 3 years.
I still lasted about 8 months. And I got tired because my personality, I'll do everybody. So I pushed like 30 carts at a time.
Oh,
I was a young buck.
I used to hate
Oh,
pushing
push-
carts. But the
Push through
reason
that.
I hated it's because I was working with fresh food
Yeah,
in a bakery, and you can't mix that.
yeah.
So as soon as you go push carts, and
Yeah.
whenever you get back in, well, then that means you have to go cool down. You basically have to wash yourself. You got to put on new linens because you should not have any kind of sweat or anything going into fresh food. And we were baking bread every hour.
Oh, yeah.
On top of that, we would get managers that say, well, go push carts for an hour. Okay, no problem. Someone come bake this bread because that's your store policy.
Yep. Yeah,
And they didn't like me that
They
much.
didn't like. They
They
don't
didn't
like that when you throw shit in their face.
Well, I mean,
I get it.
this is my job, and Walmart's horrible about that. They will get you to go do another person's job or go do a job that they don't have someone scheduled for, but then still expect you to do everything you're
job.
supposed to do in your department.
I wonder how much
You
they
can't do
I
that.
wonder how much they changed on that since they kind of got rid of their cashiers and
Well, there is no cashiers. I don't think
Yeah.
it's changed at all. They still
Well,
do everything
well,
or
I had,
nothing.
I had to fill out a W-2 the other day at Walmart because I was checking myself out.
I hate
I'ma
them
sip my
self-checkout
tea.
lines.
I'm gonna sip my
Okay.
tea like Kermit on that.
I dislike it and like it at the same time.
I don't like self checkouts. I
because
don't.
if I have one thing and I cannot find a register open before,
Yes, I'll go to it.
You know what?
because
I
you
like
only
that
have a
idea.
Yeah, if I
few
got 1 or
items.
2 things, I'm perfectly okay
but
with going
now
to self-checkout.
it's
But if
just
I got
like,
a buggy full of stuff, I am not going in that
So-
self checkout.
so there's a thing going around saying, hey, guess what? You got to start getting the Walmart Plus thing. Pay $100 a year to use the Walmart checkout.
What do you mean to use a Walmart checkout?
It's the rumor going
There's
around.
a rumor going around that's saying that's going to be the new thing.
I do
Well-
have the Walmart Plus.
But why do I have to pay?
Why do I have to pay to
No,
check
no.
be able
Correct.
to take
I do
myself
not.
I'm
out
already paying
to
for these
buy
groceries.
groceries from your
Yeah.
store?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
that's
right now
stupid.
you're supposed to be able to use the Walmart Plus to scan your groceries as you go.
That I understand because that's more convenient.
Yes.
That is a
You're
convenience.
paying for convenience.
Well, that also covers
Right.
anything.
Not to go check
I think it
myself out with
covers
self-checkout.
shipping whenever you order things.
yeah.
Yes.
And it also
Free
covers
delivery.
the deliveries. It doesn't charge you as much for deliveries.
So they're almost trying to get like that Amazon thing where
they are trying to be Amazon.
where look you do
Yeah.
the Amazon Plus thing and you get free shipping and
Right.
you get
Amazon
photos
Prime.
thing
And
Amazon
you get
Prime,
part of the
video-
Amazon music.
even the music the
Yeah,
music
yeah.
thing
You have
There's
some of the
other
music.
pluses
Yeah, there's
to it.
some other things that's added
Hence
into
the
there
plus.
on top of the free deliveries. Which I mean, kudos to Amazon because now they're running their own trucks
Yeah, they are.
and they're employing more people because I mean, let's be real, you're not sending all your products through FedEx or UPS or USPS.
Yeah, I like doing that because I have an idea. Look, I want to buy me a new shirt. I wanted to buy me a new shirt, and I forgot to tell Kashika, but because I like
Brains
wearing.
are awesome. I wish
Yeah.
I wish every day had one.
No,
I wish everybody
everybody-
had one.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it was kind of wrinkled right there. That's
Yeah,
where
it
your
was.
fat roll.
That's
Was.
my fat roll. my boobie.
Your boobie was.
But I
hot,
like
wasn't it?
little shirts like this with
Yeah.
weird sayings and stuff, and I like wearing them for the show.
Yeah.
Give somebody some humor that
Fair enough.
they recognize it.
Uh-huh.
You know. But I like buying shit like that. That way I can get it pretty quickly. You know.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I like about Amazon.
Amazon is usually fast. I
Yeah.
mean, I also get dog food, dog
We get
treats
The
delivered
dog
to the
food, the
shop.
cat, but we get the cat food, the
Mhm.
rabbit's food, the rabbit's hay.
And their algorithm is pretty easy to use.
It is. It is.
You type in something you want, and they pull up on anything. Look,
right.
go
You'll
look
get
up
a large selection of what you're looking
When
for.
I can use it without any problems,
yeah,
it's easy.
correct. Go pull up a 55-gallon of lube
A 55-gallon what?
on Amazon.
I've been there.
You can get it.
Yeah, I know. It comes in a 55-gallon
Oh.
plastic drum.
Yes.
And you can
Uh-uh.
actually attach a little electric pump to that.
Yes.
But don't ask me how I know these things. Because
But I like-
again, I've hustled a lot in
Yeah.
my life.
Amazon Prime is one of the only places I can find senior freaking cat food.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes,
Huh.
because
It's
they're
weird.
not. They weren't
Miss
gaining any weight.
Miss Karen saying, why I can't connect to y'all.
Oh,
Sorry, she says. I
yeah.
thought it was live.
We're not live yet.
Not
We're
yet,
not
Miss
live
Karen.
yet, Miss Karen.
Look,
But soon,
we're gonna
as
get there.
soon as possible, we will be there.
And the only reason why Tammy's seeing that right now because she's getting instant messages, either on the pre-recording
Yes,
or
it's popping up on mine too.
okay. So it's on the pre-recording. Look, we're not live yet, but please leave your comments.
Yes, leave your comments. We usually go
Yeah.
back and watch them.
Yes.
You'll see a lot of times me or Justin or whoever's on the That's Real Chat podcast Facebook page will
Yeah.
actually go back, read them,
Yeah.
reply to certain ones, like them, love them, click, click, click.
Yeah, we will love it because right now the one that's dropping, and please Tammy, don't spill anything. We had the great Dr. Pepper drop in 2025.
What are you doing?
She's having a seizure moment.
I'm pretty sure. She usually does that when she's mad. She's over there going,
Here, Tammy, get you another pour, baby.
what do you want me to do? What is
What's
that?
Tammy,
Why are you?
Go.
what is that? Oh, it's a snake. Look, this would be perfect for
Oh,
Worm.
There
Worm
was a
would
snake in the, oh, that's a little garbage can. Okay.
Worm would love that.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
Now,
Well, Candace had one going to her house before she came.
well, Tammy's got to
Saturday.
go poop now because she's seen the snake.
That's usually what happens. See, that's what happens whenever Tammy doesn't go poop before. She usually ends up having to take a break during the show. And now
I
we're
don't-
left with it unmanned.
Okay, so first job.
So
we're
first job.
we-
I
we
was
done-
at Walmart first
yeah,
job. I mean, that was
Walmart
the
for
first
me too.
official job.
Mine too.
What,
Yeah.
really?
I
Yeah.
started as a cashier, then went to garden center cashier, and then
not really. 'cause
started garden
you,
beer greeter.
you worked at the newspaper place.
Oh yeah, that's
when
true. I
we
forgot
were
about that.
married. And Rain. When
I
we-
put the newspapers together for the Post
I
Signal.
worked
Yeah.
For a
at
few
I worked at
months.
the Post Signal for a short amount of time as well.
yeah,
In the accounting department. Uh-huh.
I put
Well,
the
she's
The
newspapers
bookkeeping
together.
department.
she had a group of people there that were kind of crazy like her.
Yeah, I know about them groups of people.
And they were just
And I
putting
helped
those
my mother
flyers
deliver
out.
the
Uh-huh.
papers.
My dad did some a short amount of time, but he would do like newspaper routes here or there or
Yeah.
Helped
something
my
along that
mama do
line.
hers.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Not too shabby. I actually worked in the bookkeeping department for 3, 4, 5 months, something like that.
Yeah.
It was in between once I got out of school and before I started at Exco. But I was
Oh.
planning on being there for a while. But I just so happened to get an interview at Exco. They actually called me. I knew the manager at the time. I went to school with his wife.
Yeah.
And he called me And I was like, well, I'm not really looking to jump jobs because I had
Well-
just got there. I was 3 months in, you know.
So you know I was supposed to work for Exco 7 years prior before I was supposed to start.
Yeah, I remember.
Actually 8 years.
Uh-huh.
Because they put out my application that one day. Because I think you had messaged me
Yeah.
asking if I could do some panels. I was like,
Yeah.
sure. And I put it in my application and everything. I didn't hear nothing for a month.
I know.
And
I think you had just got another job
Well,
somewhere else.
I was started working for Sonic again. Because look,
Mhm.
Sonic was always my back to job because
Right.
I always went back. I mean, that's from my second job to almost my last job
Uh-huh.
before I started working for Exco again. But I started working for Exco. Well, I should have started working for Exco 7 years prior.
Yep.
And I started working for Jennings. Okay. I started working in Sonic and Jennings as assistant manager.
Yeah.
And ran that store for a while. And they look after a month, I got that job. Then somebody called me. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Chad.
It might have been.
It might have been
back
Chad.
then,
And I
yeah.
was like, dude, I already found another job.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And hung up the phone. Didn't
That was it.
execute it. Nothing.
Yeah, that's
You know?
that was probably Chad.
Yeah.
Sounds like him.
Yeah.
But no, I did Walmart for 3 years, and during that time, I was taking some college classes for accounting and bookkeeping. I worked like 3, 4, 5 months or so at the newspaper, and I had just gotten out of school at that point. My dad had passed away, and I was working. And then I got a call from Richard at Exco. Well, Second Circuits back then.
What year was that?
That was 08. No, 07. The end of 07. Because I started working at Exco January the 2nd.
Alabama at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had started working
Joel
there on
was-
January the 2nd of 08.
Because 2006, I started working for Lowe's. And before then, I was working.
Joe was 18 months old when we moved back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about around that time.
Yeah. And then I've been at Exco for the past almost 18 years.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. I mean, I've done a little bit of everything there. I've built a couple of panels. I've done some shipping. I've done some receiving, inventory, ordering, purchasing, sales, a little engineering,
Yeah.
a little bit of drafting, like
Well, me and you sat at our desks and engineered shit together.
all the time.
All
All the time. Like, we don't need an engineer. We
Well,
can figure this out.
Sometimes we do.
Yeah, on the bigger stuff. I'm
On
not
the
going
bigger
to
stuff.
I'm not going to lie.
But
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we-
I mean, hustling. I've done Team National. I've fixed computers. I've worked on a lot of things. I've sold DVDs and CDs, musical CDs. I used to love Napster back in the day. I did get
Yeah.
a cease and desist letter from the government, and we're just not going to go there about that. My daddy nearly killed me over that. But hey, you had to make a hustle. You had to do what you had to do. Even got to the point, there was a couple of times I had a friend making moonshine. And I knew other friends who liked it. So it's like, I know you, you know me. We'll see what happens.
yeah.
Yeah, for a donation only. Donations are legal in the United States of America.
So if you would like to make a donation,
If you would like to make a donation to the That's Real Chef podcast, feel free to do so at any time. You can send us a message. You can send us an email. You have our messages. Most of y'all actually have our personal numbers.
Oh.
But if you want to send us an email, that's realchat@gmail.com, DATS or EALSHA@gmail.com.
Danny's sending me a message knowing that we're recording.
He
right
can't help himself.
Okay.
He don't remember
Oh.
nothing. He is special. But yeah, please, sir, may we have some more funding?
How was Danny's trip over here?
Oh, Danny's trip here was great.
Yeah.
Danny's trip going home.
Was
Poor
that so
thing.
great?
Oh man.
Because he was like messaging me the week before he was supposed to show up over here.
He was
Like,
all
we
excited.
gotta hang out. And I never heard nothing from him.
Well, a lot of times he comes in with all these expectations,
I
and he
get that.
stays at his mom's house, and next thing you know, he's
I
you
get
know,
that. I
he's
get
spending
that.
time with mom.
Mhm.
And I get it. He came over to the house one night, and we hung out.
Yeah.
The day Thursday night, and then we had graduation. By the time we all got back from
Yeah.
that was late.
We were all busy.
And then he was supposed to fly out Saturday. That didn't happen. From Lafayette, they canceled the Lafayette flight, scheduled him up on an Alexandria flight. Went to Alexandria. Actually, that did not happen. That flight got canceled. So Monday they brought him back to Alexandria. Sunday they brought him back, and
I think
he ended
even
up
had one
sleeping the
scheduled in
night.
Lake Charles.
I think he actually spent the night there Sunday or Monday night.
Why he didn't just drive?
He didn't get well. He didn't bring his vehicle here.
Oh shit!
And during the weekend, you can't go rent a car because none of them are open.
He also had one
Rental
scheduled in
Express not
Alexandria.
open?
I don't think so.
No.
You have to actually go online and have somebody open up the store and get a vehicle ready for you because they don't have a normal hours.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Of course, his first flight was like 2:00 Saturday. So
Yeah.
there were even if it was open, it was probably closed at noon.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And Sunday they don't normally open. Remember, we had to bring that car back whenever
Yeah.
we were moving Joey, and nothing was open on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So going back to your first jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What did those teach you?
Oh my goodness.
Even if it wasn't just your first, or
A lot of it was how to work with people and
Yeah.
how to accept different personalities. I mean, we had some of that in school, but high school was a different world.
I was with AutoZone for 13 years. That wasn't my first job, but AutoZone is where I've learned to deal with different types of
yeah. correct.
Yeah.
people, different
Yeah.
types of their attitudes and
Personality.
their personalities.
Yeah.
Not just the workers, but
The
customers
public.
as well.
They
The
deal with.
public, yes.
Because public is not easy to work with.
No, they're
Well,
not.
I've learned a lot through Exco. Anywhere from managing and
Yeah.
dealing with large amounts of money,
yeah. Correct.
large quotes, purchasing. Sometimes you actually gain more money and you win by purchasing better than actually selling it for more.
Yeah.
And that's a loophole that you can actually make more money at.
Tammy's talking about how to deal with people.
Yeah.
When I was working for Sonic,
Oh,
my God.
I bet.
I already know.
I had to be put on medication at one point.
Oh, I understand. I mean, I
Oh.
was front counter at the bakery at Walmart, and then there was a lot of times I was closing, so there
Yeah.
was no one else there. So I did everything from deal with people who wanted things written on cakes, or they wanted to pull something off of a reduced rack and get it written on, which is not
So-
necessarily something we should be doing.
At the time, I was working for Sonic. We were
Uh-huh.
foster parents at the time.
Oh, really?
And I had to work in late nights because that's what I did. And as assistant manager,
Yeah,
you closed.
right.
I work in a late night, and after 8, there's half price shakes. And let me tell you, you're blown up, you're booming,
Right.
and you do whatever you can to get all these orders out. So I had a lady that placed a huge order, probably 12 ice creams or so.
Oh, wow.
And then I had a guy that placed 1. So, and my manager instinct kicked in and says, look, I'm going to make that 1 while my employees are making the others.
Fair enough. Yeah. You got the job.
And,
Yeah.
that's my manager instinct. So
Right.
because this lady knows she placed a big order.
right.
It's going to take a little while.
That's gonna
Right.
take a
and
minute.
and
Right.
this guy placed
Why
1.
should this
Right.
guy wait?
Correct.
Correct.
So I took
You
it
just
upon
have the
myself to
one
go
order.
ahead and make it. I got
Yeah.
myself dirty, baking it and stuff, and I went delivered it.
And then I'll
actually.
come back in and help y'all make the big one.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Mhm.
Correct. And I couldn't do that because the lady called in and says, "Hey, why did this get his stuff before I did?"
Really?
Well, ma'am, he placed 1 order and he placed
Yeah.
you placed a big order
Yeah.
with this fool and all kind of
Wow.
cussing and everything
With children in the vehicle.
with children in the
Oh my
vehicle,
goodness.
cussing up a storm. And then she made the comment, "Well, you served him first because he was white and I'm black."
Oh,
No, ma'am, I'd never seen the color of your skin when I'm looking at the screen pushing the buttons.
Right.
I never looked to see who
I
you
just
are.
see the color of the screen.
Correct. But I didn't say that, but I'm
Right,
thinking that in
yeah.
my mind.
Well, because y'all don't even have names. It would just
No,
go by the
the
where
stall
they park
number,
at,
the stall
stall
number.
number. So
So,
stall
look,
25
so
or whatever.
My manager says, look, at my manager instincts, he says, I'm gonna go outside and talk her, calm her down.
Yeah.
There was no calming her down.
Wow.
None whatsoever. I'm talking to her and she starts taking her. You good, lady?
I think she's mad.
Okay. She starts taking her head. You're gonna have to pay attention to this, Tim, because it gets very exciting. Because she starts taking her head and banging it into the steering wheel. And all of a sudden, I thought I had my hand around her throat and banging it against. I thought I was doing it.
That was when it was time for medication.
And
Wow.
I turned and looked at my car up. My car up was scared to come outside.
Yeah.
I said, "Come on out." And she's like,
No.
No.
She's like, "What is she doing? Why is she banging her head against the steering wheel?" And I'm
That's
just thinking in my
crazy.
mind,
Yeah.
I thought I did it.
No.
And I never said this to anyone.
Right.
Besides Kashika, basically.
Right.
But it gives you to a point where people's actions, guys.
Yes.
He's had one customer throw a drink at a car hop.
Yeah.
I've had
at a minor throw a drink. Look, this customer threw a whole drink at a minor, hit her, hurt, like not really hurt her, but threw it at a minor. Guess what I did? Call the cops.
Yeah.
That lady that banged her head against the steering wheel. Guess what? When she backed up, because I gave her stuff for free.
Right.
So just take it and go, baby.
Right.
And I take care of the bill. I don't ask for all that. No, ma'am. Just go.
Right.
Here's your stuff and go.
Right.
She backed up and then threw it in gear.
Yeah.
And hit the gas so hard where the kid that was in the back seat flew into the front seat.
Showing they were not in seatbelts.
Whoa.
So as a foster parent, I am a person who is liable, have to report it. I reported it and gave the license plates and everything.
Oh my
Call the
goodness.
cops reporter.
I've dealt with some stuff at Exco.
Nothing like that?
Not quite. No. Probably the best one was the guy who was in shipping department.
Yeah.
He was a fairly new guy, and he dropped a $20,000 drive. And he started screaming and hollering at the top of his lungs throughout the warehouse. And I had to finally be like, dude, you need to walk away from the customer. Yeah. Walk away now. Go calm down. I called Worm and a couple of others. We picked it back up.
Look, and it wasn't his fault.
Right.
I mean, it was an accident.
Right. It was an accident. But it was just
for him to act like that.
Crazy. And then, you remember the guy who wore the basically the fatigues, and he would wear like a weighted vest, and he was getting a rifle adjusted or drilled out with one of the machinists, and we ended up firing him, and he came to pick up his weapon, and it was like, y'all may want to watch out. This one's a little goofy.
Yeah.
Or what about the guy who worked and he would carry around the wooden pistol?
I don't remember that one.
You don't know him?
I don't know that one.
Oh.
It must have been before me.
He was packing a wooden firearm.
Was his name Louis?
No.
Louis
was his own special person.
If you're from Iota, I'm sorry, his name wasn't Louis, it was Lewis or something like that.
Oh no, I don't. He wasn't from Iota.
Ask Miss Summer about it.
Oh,
he was a volunteer.
Well, the bad part is
department that was a little autistic.
Yeah,
and they wouldn't give him a gun, so they gave him a wooden gun.
No, this was not that guy.
Okay.
We actually hired this guy because I knew the brother from working from another company.
Okay.
We would do business together through Exco and the company that he worked through. So we thought, okay, this guy's pretty good. He's in management. He got a decent head over his shoulders. And then we hired his brother. Whew, some weird people. But I mean, I've dealt with Walmart. Walmart alone, that's all you have to say. The people
Yeah.
at Walmart, they're
Oh my god,
they're special.
there's a thing on YouTube. Look up the people at Walmart. There's a song
Yeah.
that this girl does.
Sing a song?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Really?
If any of our listeners have any crazy customer service stories, please leave them in the comments.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Customer
had the
service
cops
stories.
call on me
Yeah, me too.
I believe
at
that.
I've
AutoZone.
called the cops on people.
No. Well, I've done that, but I mean, I've had the cops call on me
Yeah.
at AutoZone as a store manager.
What did they say?
It was in St. Martinville.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that explains a lot.
oh.
So one of my old workers came in, and he just came in just to, drop by.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, hey, Sean, how you doing?" And I, just kind of touched him on his cheek or whatever. And he was a little young guy. "Oh, I'm good, Miss Tammy. How's it going? Blah, 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 blase, blase." Well, whenever he goes to leave, he couldn't find his phone.
Okay.
So I was like, we don't have it. It's nowhere's here. Well, cops got called because he thinks we stole his phone. Then he turns around and tells the cop that I slapped him.
Yeah.
Tammy, you
went
should keep your
outside.
hands to yourself.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
learned that one
Yeah.
the hard way, to keep my hands to
Yeah.
myself.
Sit on your
He went
hands.
outside and slapped himself in the face, called the cops, and he had a red mark on his face. And the cop comes in. They were going to arrest me. And they were like, "Ma'am, did you touch this guy?" I was like, "Well, what do you mean? Did I touch him?" I did it to the police officer. I said, "What?" And he's like, "No, ma'am, you did not." And I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, how are you?" "No, ma'am, you did not. That is what you are saying." "No, ma'am. No, sir. I did not touch anybody." And I'm looking up at him like, "Oh, no, sir, I didn't touch anybody."
Yeah. He was
Thank
trying
you.
to
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
trying to correct you.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Thank God for video evidence, because I've had those situations as well.
Yeah.
There was no video, no nothing. It was his
Well-
word against mine. It's just that
Yeah.
They didn't
whenever
have
the
video
officer,
cameras in
no,
AutoZone?
we're talking
Really?
about St. Martinville.
Oh,
I know.
Fair enough. Fair
about
enough.
at
Fair
least
enough.
at that point, I worked for
Okay.
AutoZone for 13 years, but I
When
mean,
the dinosaurs
was
roamed
a
the
while
earth,
back.
they didn't have video cameras.
I'm not going to comment on that.
so Y'all
You know
funny.
she's 60 years old.
I am
That's
not
what
60
happens.
years old, but anyway,
Them dinosaurs are still roaming.
he knew from whenever I explained myself whenever he first came in that
Yeah.
I didn't touch
Yeah.
him. Well, I mean, I touched, but I mean,
But yeah,
I didn't
You didn't
slap him.
assault them.
Right, exactly. So
That we
he's
know
like,
of.
"Ma'am, we can handcuff you and take you right now." And I'm like,
I feel like I need to make a report.
"No."
I had one customer that actually called the cops on one of my car ops, because when he gave her $100 bill to break, he said my drugs were in there, like his illegal drugs were rolled up in that $100 bill.
Wow.
And I was like, well, number one, we don't break 100.
Right.
Number
Take your
two,
This is illegal.
number two, we don't accept illegal drugs
No. No.
for payment.
Take your stuff back.
But he called the cops for that, and then he ended up getting busted because he had a bunch of stuff in his vehicle.
Well, that
Y'all
was
had a couple of
Well, that
drug
was-
busts in
I
your
had-
That
parking
was
lot.
not
Yeah.
smart at that
I
point.
had a
I
lot
ever
of-
heard of that saying? What were they smoking?
Yeah.
On 97.3.
Yeah.
What were they smoking?
But
They
talking about
out
all
there.
these experiences, that really helped us develop who we are today, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
I guess so.
I'm hoping so.
I
at
hope
this
so.
point. Man,
Did we
we-
all
I
learn
would
something?
like to think so.
We all learned
Yes.
something from that experience.
Correct.
You know, how to manage people,
Yeah.
Yes.
How to deal with people. How to talk to people.
how to talk to
Oh
people,
my
Well, I'm
and
God.
how
still
to-
working hard on that one.
how to say certain things
Correct.
at a certain time.
And to develop on when to talk to certain people and how that person
Correct.
needs to be talked to.
Yes.
Because every person is different and you have to develop a way that they will understand and not take it offensively.
And not a take, yeah, correct.
That's a skill. That's
Yeah.
something to learn.
All right.
All right, Chef K, what's next, baby?
I don't know where we at anymore.
So we're at the next parts, section 3.
Yeah. Early
There
rookie
are-
mistakes.
There are no shortcuts through the swamp, Shy.
None. Well, sometimes they can be.
I mean, it can be, but I mean, it's hard, you know. I haven't taken many shortcuts. I've tried things. I've tried things like
Well,
Team National.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say,
what I was
And
gonna
I
say.
mean,
Sure would have been a shortcut.
it would have been, but it just didn't work. And I mean, we lost some money.
No, it
and
did
some
not pay
time.
off.
Would have been a shortcut? Not really.
If it paid off, yeah,
If it
I
would
did the oils,
Huh?
yeah,
the essential oils.
Yeah.
I,
you know.
I spent more money buying this crap myself.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean that's part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think it could have been anything that you could have used to better yourself as a potential. You know, regardless
You
if
go get.
it's selling memberships or selling oil or along that line.
okay. So I mean, you would take risks and stuff like that, and
But I've never I've pretty much stuck with most jobs.
yeah.
You know,
What well, we kind of mentioned that earlier. But I mean,
yeah.
what did it teach you as versus
I would say for
as far as
me,
negative repercussions?
There are no shortcuts. You
I
gotta
know.
really, I don't really.
But you
find-
had to learn
you,
something from
yeah,
it.
you
correct.
learn how to do, how to
Well, especially when it comes to dealing with the public or dealing with customers. I do a lot of phone and email sales, so I gotten very personal with people
Yeah.
and learning that there's no shortcuts in trying to figure out what the customer actually wants versus what they need, because in our line of business, that's not always the same thing. What they want may not perform and accomplish what they actually need
All the time.
and so that was a big learning curve, because if you gave them what they wanted and it didn't accomplish what they needed, that was your fault.
So how did you learn from that? Did you learn how to ask the right questions?
Oh, absolutely. I've basically learned how to ask the right questions, get the correct information up front, and do that in a way that they're not feeling offensive about it. Because there's a lot of people that call and say, hey, I want this and this. Oh, I don't care. Just give it to me. No, I need to know this, this, and this. When I know these things, I can tell you what's available. Before that, that's not an option.
Because I know, like, for you, when I get an order from you, it's very presentable and understandable.
I had to learn that.
You
That
had
was
to learn
something that.
So how did you learn how to make that presentable
So
for someone in the shop that didn't talk to that customer?
Okay, so I actually had to do that in a reverse fashion, because whenever I started sales, we did not have a salesperson. Our salesperson quit on us.
Yeah.
And me and another person went into sales. I knew nothing, absolutely nothing. I would get on the phone and write down every single thing the person said, and then call someone from the shop to come walk in the office and explain it to me. And so whenever I started writing up orders, and the way that I write up orders was for me to learn how to do it.
Almost
that
the
way,
same
if
way
somebody,
you do it now.
yeah, absolutely. I started that way. I've never changed that.
Okay.
And that's why I cringe even whenever like one of the other salesperson takes it a little easier. Because it happens. Not all of our salespeople write out an order the way that I would.
Correct.
And I've taught them that way. And a lot of times they do try to do shortcuts. But at the end of the day, there's 50 more questions to answer because it was not written on that paper the way I would do it.
Correct, because we're asking that same question
I know.
later.
Oh, I know.
I love my Randy, but sometimes
and I understand the concept and how his mind works and how he gets there.
correct.
I get it.
And that's one thing I try to
But
learn.
sometimes it's not exact.
I try to understand each of my salespeople, and even outside of Exco, like Basic and Houston, Exco in Houston, I gotta try to learn their habits.
Correct.
It took me a little while to learn Paul's habits.
Oh, Paul's habits,
are very different than your habits.
Oh, absolutely.
But once I learned it, it's got easier.
Correct.
And same thing for him. He learned my habits.
Just writing
That's
up the orders for me. That was also a twofer thing, because I would send that to the customer for approval. That way the customer knew exactly what they were getting to a T, and you would sign off on that. This is what you're getting.
Yeah.
And then that way I can go to the shop, before you, and before others, you know,
'Cause
I would bring it to them. That way they had to understand what we were building.
Yeah, 'cause
And I kept that in mind. It's like, you know, I can't be the person, especially back then, because a lot of times back then I was the only person in sales.
yeah,
So I had to make sure that they understood what we were building, what it was performing, and how they wanted it to operate.
because it was the same thing with Paul and stuff. At the time, when it was just me and Caillou, he would send orders the same way he did with T.
Yeah.
Our previous manager
Right.
that was over the shop, and T would take care of it. Well, I didn't know any of that,
Right.
Yeah.
so I'd have to send it to James
Right.
Right.
or another.
And then one of
salesman.
us would basically
have to deal
convert
with
it
it.
over into a parts
And
list
they always-
and all of
They
that.
would take arguments and
Because even now, you know,
confusion and
not
stuff like that.
everybody does full parts list.
No,
I
no,
still do a full parts list.
correct.
But I
Um,
mean, from other departments, they don't normally do a full parts list.
I'm really trying to get everybody in the habit of sending me quotes
Yes.
and letting me trying to do a parts list.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm like he knows part numbers way better than I do.
Right.
I don't.
I didn't have a choice.
You didn't have a choice, but
But I had to
can't-
memorize it.
I can't remember part numbers like
Right.
you do. I
I
kind
don't
of
know either.
I kind of have like a photographic memory, but I can't explain it to you. And that's kind of the dyslexic part of me,
Yeah.
that I can't explain things very well
Mhm.
to people. But look, when they come to me and say, "Hey, Justin, I don't know what this needs."
Yeah.
I can't tell you, but look, I'm gonna go walk down the aisle and show you.
Right.
And I go grab the part and like this. And
Right.
This
This
is
is
what
what you need right here.
And he's like,
Mhm.
"How do you do that?" So I recognize the part number.
Right.
I can visualize it.
Right. And I'm good at that. I'm good at
Um,
seeing the part number. Like even whenever I don't know it,
Yeah.
I'm good at learning part numbers if there's a rhyme or reason to it. If it's a bunch of digits, it does no
yeah,
good for me.
yeah.
Like if it's just random and it doesn't make sense, because a lot of times I'll look at a part number and try to figure out, okay, this means this means this. I'll look at the nomenclature and actually figure out, okay, so this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to
And that's learning everybody,
right.
learning who you're working around.
But I had to
that
get
takes
very detail oriented.
That takes experience.
Yeah, it does. I
Um,
mean, I had to become very detail oriented.
Yeah.
To make sure that jobs were quoted correctly, built correctly, and went out to the customer, and we didn't hear anything back from it.
Now, at times, would that burn me out? Definitely.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It
That
would-
burns everybody
It
out
would burn me
because
out.
it's a different version of working.
It would burn me out when one salesman sends me one quote, another one sends me another quote, and another one sends me another quote, and they want to know all the details
And James like,
and the
what box do we
timelines.
put this in?
Yeah, what time? Yeah, what box we need this in,
Mhm.
and I got to sit there and draw all that up.
Yeah,
I got to prioritize that.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
some days I'm done.
Oh, trust me,
I'm
I
done.
understand that feeling completely. And it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be
No,
for me.
correct.
Because I mean, I used to work till 7, 8 o'clock every night.
I'm glad I never got to that point.
Yeah.
Because 5 o'clock I was done.
There's been a few nights where you've gone.
Well, that's before then. So
Right.
that
Those
before
late nights for us were like midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
just trying
correct.
to cut
Get a job
things
out.
through. Right.
Yeah.
Get a job out. I mean, there's times where I stayed till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
Stayed
Right.
from
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock the next morning.
There's
I
no
believe you.
shortcuts
I
around
already
that.
know.
That's just the learning curve. That's getting there.
Yeah.
Now I will say that we've gotten so organized in the shop. You've gotten the shop so organized that it's been a while since we had to do
Very
anything
long
like
time.
that.
Very long time.
You know. And if we do, it's just simply because of necessity,
And
not
necessity.
because of a scheduling or anything along that
But I
line.
have a great group of guys that they'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know with previous people who have ran the shop in the past, they would get in their own way and cause y'all to work later.
Yeah, correct. There
There was no reason to work late.
Yeah.
But because of the thought process and the way
Well,
he ran the shop,
he would
they
think
end up having to work later because it never got to it. And then at the end of the day, it's like this has to
His-
go out.
his thought process is you'll never check on somebody to deal with that they had to deal with a situation. Let's say bus needed to be cut or something.
Right.
He would never think to check on that.
During the
Or
day,
he would think to check on
or
that.
late in the afternoon,
refuse to
and at
do
that
it.
point, it's too late.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they don't come in at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
And then, well, guess what? We got to get this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
What's next, baby?
Grit ain't fancy, but it gets the job done.
Well,
Oh, I mean,
No, I
I'll
agree.
say that between the hustles and the working, I have a good work habit. That's something I had to learn. You know, I didn't have a choice in that, but
I don't think
you do what you
at
gotta
age school, we
do.
did none of
No,
us
none. I mean, just in working in general, you learn that you have to be somewhere and you have to perform a task for a certain amount of time before you can even go forward in life and pay a bill or move
Mhm.
on or improve yourself.
did. Yeah.
You
What
know,
about
that's
What about you, Chef K? You ever had to really deal into the grit? They perform something, they get it done. I know you have.
Fostering those kids till I got burnt out and couldn't do it no more.
yeah. I mean, I'll even
Now I
say
just take care of other people's kids. I don't get burnt out. It's just gotten harder to do.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you have an option now.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Right.
do it.
Yeah. And the kids I actually watch now are great kids, pretty much.
Well, some
pick
of the
and choose.
some of the foster kids that we had were
Some of them were good, some of them were, but it was never their fault. They were like they were.
correct.
Right.
Correct.
It was learned behavior.
Yeah.
Right.
But there gets to the point when you get no more help from the state that you just burn the hell out.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That's
Bobby
hard.
General.
Not Bobby Jignall. Edward.
Oh yeah, Edwards too.
No, he was the one that's the reason why the foster system is like it is.
Yeah.
Mm. That's crazy.
What about you,
Tammy,
Tammy?
what you've learned, the evolution of the hustle or the hustler.
That grinding, that gritting, getting down and dirty.
I've had to get down and dirty a few, especially at AutoZone. Not
Yeah.
so much at at
No,
basic.
she gravy at basic.
I really am.
Yeah.
I
can
really
agree
am.
with you.
I mean, I'm behind the desk a lot at basic, and I do try to do sales.
Yeah.
I don't do sales like everybody else does. I mean, I might pick up the phone if something I can handle. I will handle it.
I think you really take
Um,
people out of situations.
Yeah, that's usually her case.
I do. I try my best. It's kind of a feeling go with me at
Yeah.
basic. You know, whatever needs to be done, I try to
Yeah.
get it done.
Yeah.
There's not no one set job that I do. It's a little bit of this because today I walked out in the warehouse and there was stuff that wasn't received. It was been sitting out there since Friday, and I just like blew my
No,
head.
you can't
It's
have
like,
that.
Right.
dude, where does this come from? Why was it here? Why is it not received?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I have to take the initiative myself to go out there and look at everything. Things get forgotten. Things get brought in and forgotten about. There's not one person doing receiving. There's not one person doing this. We all do it. So
Okay.
if something gets brought in and they busy doing something else, it gets dropped right there and they go do whatever else it was they were working on. And that's what happens a lot at basic.
So it's not a really good operation system.
No,
Yeah.
at all. Not
Yeah.
at all. So I have to take it, to go out there and look, make sure there's nothing out there that needs to get received. So then I'll take care of stuff like that. But my main, like at AutoZone, what I was thinking about, from the forefront was like for inventory. If you've ever worked at a not so much a restaurant, but like a store,
Yeah. Anything.
and it's
Right.
time for inventory, you have so many hours to get all your prep done, and you could be there from open to close.
Yeah.
Past closing, you there
Yeah.
early before they open, and you there
After
after closing,
Yep.
Yep.
prepping, because everybody's going to be there come 5 o'clock the next morning to do inventory, and everything has to be top notch.
I have a saying I call it proper prep prevents piss poor performance.
Proper preparation.
Yep.
Yep. No, I get it. I
Yep.
get it completely.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
that's
and
how
that's
I think me and Tammy are kind of on the same page and stuff.
Yeah.
We kind of did the same thing.
Mhm.
We would turn around businesses.
Right.
We would turn around and go to a store or a location. I worked for Sonic for many years, and they would bring me to a
Yep.
store that's opening
Mm-hmm.
and get
To
their
run it, to get all the
get
operations.
and
Mhm.
to
or
line.
if it's messed up. I
Yeah.
got put into a lot of. I got moved around a lot whenever
Yeah.
I was with AutoZone because I always fixed them up. I
And I-
went in and I did what I did.
And I kind of like that because look, I didn't have obligations.
Right.
I would go to the store and say, "This
Fix
is what
it and then walk
fix
away.
it. This is what you got to do,"
Mhm.
and then walk away.
and then walk away.
Yeah,
Well,
I could see that.
my
the
thing, they
benefits
would
to
leave
that.
me there for a while, so I was obligated,
Yeah.
so I had to stay there for a
Well,
minute
I would,
until they found another store that was
I would-
messed up, and then they would send me to
I
that
would turn
one.
stores around in like 3 months.
Yeah.
That's usually what average
Yeah.
people would do.
Mhm.
They would turn business around in about 3
Oh,
months.
I've been in a store and it'd be jacked up from the floor up
Mhm.
and having the inventory within the next 3 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they didn't give me leadway on. I remember crying on the phone with my district. No, not district. With the regional manager.
Yeah.
Regional manager crying on the phone because everybody always got help. They would always send somebody
yeah.
to go help at another store.
Mhm.
I know
But
that.
you put me in this store 3 months ago and you expect me to have inventory
That's-
ready within 3 months and you don't want to push my date back.
I did the
Yep.
same thing. Same thing. That I had a store.
She still didn't send me any help.
I
I
said,
had to get it ready. I had to do it. And
I-
that's whenever I
I
had to.
helped stores left and right, and when I needed help,
Mhm.
they couldn't
They
send
wouldn't.
anyone.
They
Yeah.
wouldn't send anybody to help. So
then
I
I
had
had
to pull on my big girl panties. I did my crying and
Oh, yeah.
got mad and cursed and threw stuff around and kicked the boxes.
Well, what I
but
did,
then I did what I had
what
to do.
I did is look, they wouldn't send me the help so I can go tend to one of my foster kids that was leaving.
Mm,
They were supposed to be part of our home.
Yeah.
yeah.
He was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Supposed to be adopted.
He was supposed
Right.
to be adopted by us, but other things happened.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let me leave the store to go take him back.
They told him he needed to suck it up and
Oh.
sacrifice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's okay.
that's okay. You know what I did?
That's
I turned that store into $1 million store and walked away.
Probably fell back apart after.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Oh, they always do.
You know.
Once you leave it, that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like Scott right now. It's I shouldn't even said that.
And I don't
out
like to
loud,
brag
but I
about
mean,
myself, but
yeah.
you know,
Hey,
I'm gonna show you what I can do. And I'm gonna walk
Absolutely.
away.
no, I completely understand.
And you know what? I still get ticks. That's just to this day.
Oh, really? You want to come back to work?
Yeah.
I believe it. Because they don't have people that can work like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically the evolution of a hustler.
Yep.
I mean, even in my world, I've never really stopped. I take more time out now for me to rest and
Correct.
understand that, okay, you've done enough for today. You can go and relax.
So
That was a big thing for me because I would burn myself out. I was working,
Yeah.
8 to 8, 12 plus hours every day, and then go home and do nothing.
Yeah.
You eat,
nothing. For
watch a
yourself.
TV, and go to sleep.
So
None of my passions, none of the things that I was interested in was ever getting any work into.
there was a video I kind of mentioned it earlier to y'all. There's a video I was watching. It was on TikTok.
Yeah.
This young guy just graduated.
Mhm.
This guy walked up to him and says, "Hey, see this square right here? I'm gonna pay you $50 to stay right here till 5 o'clock." And it was at that time it was 2:30.
Mhm.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna stay right there. So he stood right there in that square. Kids came by him. Hey, you want to go skating? Oh
Mhm.
no, I'm working right now.
Yeah.
Working right now.
Right.
At 5 o'clock came, the guy showed up, gave him hand of $50. Says, "Hey, you can show up tomorrow, pay you $1,000, stand in that square,
And just continue on.
and continue on."
I get it. I mean, I've done that for
Continue on.
many years myself.
And then double the money,
Yep.
doubled it up
Yep.
until he was old, and he couldn't do the things that he wanted to do anymore.
Right. At what point is the money not worth it?
Yeah.
Because you're sacrificing your time, your energy, your other goals, your other passions in life. Not to mention family, friends, events, things like that.
Yeah.
At what time is it just not worth it?
And
that's something everybody has to learn.
That's one thing I work, like working at Exco now. Okay, yeah, the ideal job, but you know what? Company's making money. I'm making money.
Yeah.
I get to focus on my hustles.
Right. You can still go home in the afternoon,
Yeah.
still work on those, and we're not working till 8, 9 o'clock every
Correct.
night.
Yeah.
Still have a few hours to handle up or take care of things. I mean, for me, it was like I couldn't get anything accomplished at home.
Yeah.
All I did was work.
So I'm not getting as much burnout as it,
Right.
previous
Right.
other jobs and stuff. I get to deal with my own hustle, make my own money, and hopefully something comes out of that. You never know.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, I'm working on my own passions, my own hobbies, and some of those, hey, if it makes $1 or $2, we're great. If not, it was mine and I did it.
So what's next, Chef K?
I think we're on the wrap up.
Yep, we're on the wrap up.
How many minutes are we? How far did we go?
We had an hour and 40.
Oh, I
Oh.
believe it.
Oh yeah, we
got it.
we're
Tonight,
really
y'all.
into
We
it,
rolled through it.
hopefully it's recorded.
If it don't,
If not, I'm gonna have to go to bed after this one because
We'll-
I'm just
we'll
tired. It's
never-
a long day.
We'll never redo this.
This hustle. Yeah.
So, all right, y'all, we want to hear your hustle stories. We want to hear about your first jobs. We want to know about those moments where you did whatever you had to do to get the job out or to make a couple of dollars or to pay that bill, get some shoes on your kids' feet, whatever it took.
Yeah.
We want to hear your stories. So send us an email, send us a message, reply back on the video. We will go back and watch and we respond to each of those comments. If there's enough on there, we'll have a whole show talking about the comments. I'm down.
Yeah, we'll do it.
2
hours of comments, we'll go through it.
Absolutely.
And remember, every little side hustle was a seed. Water it with love, Shy.
Ooh.
keep cooking with purpose. Don't burn out. Just slow that slowly.
Don't be ashamed of the grind. Be proud of the grit.
And if your hustle's illegal, guys, look, I'm pretty sure the statute of limitation is done over with.
We're almost there. Almost
Peace out,
there.
guys. I love
Y'all have
y'all.
a good night.
Faith, family, and food, the Cajun Trinity. Bless this house and let the good times be. Raise your glass shot, pass that tray. Real shot, every single day. That's real shot we share, that's the way we roll. Laughing and sipping and stirring that soul. From a splash of whiskey to a pot of stew, that's real shot. We're cooking for you.